Genesis 2:3. And God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work which God created and made. These are the words of the covenant which the Lord gave charge to Moses to establish with the sons of Israel in the land of Moab, besides the covenant of which he ordained with them in Horeb. Moses called all the sons of Israel, and he said to them, Ye see all as many things as the Lord your God did in the land of Egypt before you to Pharaoh and his attendants and all his land, the great tests which your eyes have seen, the signs and those great miracles by the strong hand and the high arm. The Lord God did not give to you a heart to behold, and eyes to see, and ears to hear until this day. He led you 40 years in the wilderness. Your garments did not become old, and your sandals did not wear away from your feet. You did not eat bread, you did not drink wine and liquor. You should know that I am the Lord your God. You came unto this place, and came forth, Sihon king of Heshbon, and Og king of Bashan, to meet us in war. We struck them, and we took their land, and we gave it by lot to Reuben, and to Gad, and to the half-tribe of Manasseh. You shall guard all the words of his covenant to do them, that you should perceive all as much as you do. You all stand today before the Lord your God, your tribal chiefs, and your council of elders, and your judges, and your judicial reporters, every man of Israel, your wives and your children, and the foreigner in the midst of your camp, from your woodcutter and unto your water carrier, to go in the covenant of the Lord your God, and his oaths, as many as the Lord your God ordains for you today, that he should establish you to himself for a people, and he will be your God, in which manner he said to you, and in which manner he swore by an oath to your fathers, Abraham and Isaac and Jacob. And not to you alone I ordain this covenant with this oath, but also to the ones here being with you today before the Lord your God, and to the ones not being with you here today. For you know how we dwelt in the land of Egypt, as we went by in the midst of the nations which you went by, and you beheld their abominations and their idols, wood and stone, silver and gold which is among them. Lest there is among you a man or a woman, or family or tribe, whose thought turned aside from the Lord your God, to go to serve to the gods of those nations, lest there is among you a root germinating, bile and bitterness upward. And it shall be, if you should hear the words of this imprecation, and one should portend in his heart, saying, May sacred things happen to me, for I shall go by the discretion of my heart. And the sinner should not be destroyed together with the sinless. In no way should God want to propitiate for him, but then the anger of the Lord shall be burned away, and the zeal against that man then shall cleave to him. All the implications of this covenant, the ones being written in this scroll of the law, and the Lord will wipe away his name from under heaven. And the Lord shall separate him for evils from all the sons of Israel, according to all the imprecations of the covenant, ones being written in this scroll of the law. And another generation shall say, even your sons who rose up after you, and the aliens which you could from out of the land far off, that they shall see the calamities of that land and its diseases which the Lord sent unto it. Sulfur and salt incinerating all its land shall not be sown, nor shall rise, nor should ascend upon it any green thing, as Sodom and Gomorrah were eradicated, Admah and Zeboim, which the Lord eradicated in rage and anger. And all the nations shall say, Why did the Lord do thus to this land? What is the great rage of anger? And they shall say, Because they left the covenant of the Lord God of their fathers, which he ordained with their fathers, when he led them out of the land of Egypt. And going they served other gods, and they did obeisance to them, ones which they had no knowledge of, nor knowledge spread in them. And they shall say, Because they left the covenant of the Lord God of their fathers, which he ordained with their fathers when he led them out of the land of Egypt. And going they served other gods, and they did obeisance to them, ones which they had no knowledge of, nor spread to them. And the Lord was provoked to anger and rage over that land, to bring upon it, according to all the imprecations being written in this scroll of the law. And all the Lord lifted from their land in rage and anger, and in exceedingly great fit of temper, and cast them into another land as now. The secret things belong to the Lord your God, but the open things are to you, and to your children, and to the eon, to do all the words of this law.
It will be, whenever all these things should come upon you, the blessings and the curses which I put before your face, you shall take them into your heart in all the nations of whichever the Lord your God should disperse you there. And you shall turn towards the Lord your God. You shall hearken to his voice, according to all as much as I give charge to you today, from your entire heart and from your entire soul, that the Lord shall heal your sins, and shall show mercy on you. Again shall bring you from out of all the nations into which the Lord your God dispersed you there, even if your dispersion might be from one of the tips unto one tip of the heaven. From there the Lord your God shall bring you, and from there he will take you. The Lord your God will bring you into the land which your fathers inherited, and you shall inherit it. He will do you good, and he will do superabundance for you above your fathers. The Lord shall purge your heart and the heart of your seed, to love the Lord your God from your entire heart, from your entire soul, that you should live. And the Lord your God shall put these curses upon your enemies, and upon the ones detesting you, who pursued you. You shall turn and shall listen to the voice of the Lord your God, and shall observe his commandments, as many as I give charge to you today. And the Lord your God shall take great care of you in every work of your hands, in the progeny of your belly, and the progeny of your cattle, and in the produce of your land, because the Lord your God shall turn to be glad over you for good things, as he was glad over your fathers. If you should hearken to the voice of the Lord your God, to guard his commandments and his ordinances, the ones written in the scroll of this law, if you turn to the Lord your God with your entire heart and with your entire soul, for this commandment which I give charge to you today is not enormous, nor is it far from you. It is not in the heavens, saying, who shall ascend of us into the heavens and shall take it to us? In hearing it, we will do it. Nor is it on the other side of the sea, saying, who will pass through for us the other side of the sea, and shall take it for us? And hearing it, we will do it. But the word is very near, in your mouth and in your heart, and in your hands to do it. Behold, I put before your face today life and death, good and bad. But if you should hearken to the commandments of the Lord your God, which I give charge to you today, to love the Lord your God, to go in all his ways, and to guard his ordinances, and his commandments, and his judgments, then you shall live, and you will be populous, and the Lord your God will bless you in all the land into which he enter you into this inheritance. And if your heart should change over, and you should not listen, and in wandering you should do obeisance to other gods and should serve them, I announce to you today that by destruction you will be destroyed, and in no way shall there be many days upon the land into which you should pass over the Jordan there to inherit it. I call to testify to you today both the heaven and the earth, the life and the death. I put before your face the blessing and the curse. Choose the life that you should live and your seed, to love the Lord your God, to listen to his voice, and to hold what is of his. For this is your life, and the duration of your days, to dwell upon the land of which the Lord swore by an oath to your fathers, Abraham and Isaac and Jacob, to give it to them. Moses completed speaking all these words to all the sons of Israel, and he said to them, 120 years I am today. I shall not be able still to enter and go forth. For the Lord said to me, you shall not pass over this Jordan. The Lord your God, the one going forth before your face, he shall utterly destroy these nations from your face, and you shall inherit them. Joshua is the one going forth before your face, as spoke the Lord. The Lord shall do to them as he did to Sihon and Og, to the two kings of the Amorites, the ones who were on the other side of the Jordan, and to their land, in so far as he utterly destroyed them. The Lord delivered them up before you, and you shall do to them in so far as I gave charge to you. Be manly and be strong. Do not fear, nor should you be timid, nor should you be terrified from their face. For the Lord your God, the one going before with you, in no way should he forsake you, nor in any way should he abandon you. Moses called Joshua and said to him, before all Israel, be manly and strong, for you shall enter before the face of his people into the land which the Lord swore by an oath to your fathers to give to them, and you shall allot it to them. The Lord, the one going with you, will not send you away, nor in any way abandon you. Do not fear, nor be timid. Moses wrote the sayings of this law in a scroll, and he gave it to the priests, the ones of Levi, the ones lifting the arks of the covenant of the Lord, and to the elders of the sons of Israel. Moses gave charge to them in that day, saying, after 7 years, in that time of the year of release, in the holiday of pitching of tents, in the going with all Israel to appear before the Lord your God, in the place in whichever the Lord should choose, you shall read this law before Israel in their ears. Assemble the people, the men and the women, and the progeny and the foreigner, the ones in your cities, that they should hear, and that they should learn to fear the Lord your God. They shall hearken to do all the words of his law, and their sons, the ones who have not known, they shall hear, and shall learn to fear the Lord your God all the days, as many as they live upon the land into which you pass over the Jordan, there to inherit it. And the Lord said to Moses, behold, the days of your death are approaching. Call Joshua and stand by the tent of the testimony, and I will give charge to him. And Moses and Joshua went into the tent of the testimony, and they stood by the door of the tent of the testimony. The Lord came down in a column of cloud, and it stood at the door of the tent of the testimony, and the column of cloud stood by the door of the tent. The Lord said to Moses, Behold, go to sleep with your fathers, and rising up, this people shall fornicate after alien gods of the land into which this people enter there into it. They shall forsake me, and shall efface my covenant which I ordained with them. I shall be provoked to anger and rage with them in that day, and I will leave them, and I will turn my face from them, and they shall be a thing devoured, and many evils and afflictions shall find him. He shall say in that day, Because the Lord my God is not among me, these evils found me. I in turning will turn away my face from them in that day, because of all the evils which they did, for they turned away unto alien gods. Now write the words of this ode, and teach it to the sons of Israel. You shall put it into their mouth, that this ode should be to me a testimony among the sons of Israel. For I shall bring them into the good land which I swore by an oath to their fathers, a land flowing milk and honey, and they shall eat. Being filled up, they shall satisfy themselves, and shall turn to alien gods, and they shall serve to them. They shall provoke me, and shall efface my covenant which I ordained with them. And it will be whenever many evils and afflictions shall find him, and this ode shall stand firm, witnessing against their face, they should not forget it from their mouth, and from the mouth of their seed. For I perceive their wickedness as much as they do here today, before my bringing them into the good land which I swore by an oath to their fathers. Moses wrote this ode in that day, and he taught it to the sons of Israel. And Moses gave charge to Joshua, son of Nun, and said, Be manly and be strong, for ye shall bring the sons of Israel into the land which the Lord swore by an oath to them, and he will be with you. When Moses completed writing all the words of this law in a scroll until completion, he gave charge to the Levites, to the ones lifting the ark of the covenant of the Lord, saying, Take the scroll of this law, you shall put it sideways in the ark of the covenant of the Lord your God, and it will be there to you for a testimony. For I know the aggravation caused by you and your hard neck. For still in my living with you today you have been embittering greatly the things toward God. How not also at the last at my death? Hold an assembly for me of your tribal chiefs and your elders and your judicial recorders, that I shall speak into their ears all these words, and I call to testify to them both the heaven and the earth. For I know that at the last of my decease with lawlessness you shall act lawlessly, and shall turn aside from the way of which I gave charge to you. And evil shall meet with you at the last of the days, for you shall do the evil before the Lord, to provoke him to anger by the works of your hands. Moses spoke into the ears of all the assembly of Israel the words of this ode unto completion. Heed, O heaven, and I will speak. Hear, O earth, the discourse from out of my mouth. Expect as the rain my maxims, and let my discourses go down as dew, as a heavy shower upon wild grass, and as snowflakes upon grass. For I call the name of the Lord. Give greatness to our God. God, his works are true, and all his ways are equity. God is trustworthy, and there is no injustice in him. Just and sacred is the Lord. They sinned. They are not his children. They are a scoffing, a crooked generation, and one turning aside. Do you recompense these things to the Lord? Thus, O people, moronish and not wise? Did not he, this your father, acquire you and make you and shape you? Remember the days of the eon. Perceive indeed the years of the generation of generations. Ask your father, and he will announce to you your elders, and they shall speak to you. When the highest divided nations into parts, as he disseminated the sons of Adam, he set the borders of nations according to the number of the angels of God. And his people Jacob became a portion for the Lord. Israel is a piece of measured out land of his inheritance. He sufficed him in a wilderness land, in thirst of sweltering heat, in a waterless land. He encircled him, and corrected him, and guarded him as a pupil of an eye. As an eagle sheltering his nest, he longs after and over his young. Thrusting out his wings, he receives them, and he takes them upon his upper back. The Lord alone led them, and there was not with them an alien god. He brought them unto the strength of the land. He fed them produce of fields. They nursed honey out of the rock, and olive oil out of the solid rock, butter of oxen, and milk of sheep, with fat of lambs and rams, offspring of bulls and he-goats, with fat of kidneys of wheat, and they drank wine, the blood of the grape. Jacob ate and was filled up, and the one being loved kicked up. He was fattened, he was thickened, he was widened, and he abandoned God, the one making him. He left from God his deliverer. They provoked me over the alien ones in their abominations. They greatly embittered me. They sacrificed to demons and not to God, to gods in whom they did not know. New and newly made gods have come, in whom their fathers knew not. God, the one creating you, you abandoned, and you forgot God, the one maintaining you. The Lord beheld and was jealous. He provoked to anger by their sons and daughters. And he said, I will turn away my face from them, and I will show what will be to them at the last times, for it is a generation being distorted, sons in whom there is no belief in them. They provoked me to jealousy over that which is not God. They provoked me to anger with their idols, and I shall provoke them to jealousy over that which is not a nation. Over a senseless nation I will provoke them to anger. For a fire burns away of my rage. It shall be burned unto lower Hades, and it shall devour the land and its produce. It shall blaze on the foundations of mountains. I will bring together to them bad things, and by my arrows I will finish with them, melting them away in hunger, and being food of fowls, and incurable convulsion. The teeth of wild beasts I will send as a successor to them, with rage dragging them upon the ground. From outside the sword shall them make them childless, and from out of their inner chambers the young man with the virgin, the one nursing being placed with the old man. I said, I will disperse them, and I will cause their memorial to cease from among men, unless they should say it was on account of the anger of the enemies. Then in no way should they live a long life, and then in no way their opponents join in making an attack, lest they should say, our high hands and not the Lord did all these things. For it is a nation destroying counsel, and there is no higher knowledge in them. They did not think to perceive. Let them appreciate in the coming time. How shall one pursue thousands, and two rout 10,000s, unless God rendered them up, and the Lord delivered them up? For their gods are not as our gods, but our enemies are unthinking. For of the grapevine of Sodom is their grapevine, and their small vine branch is of Gomorrah. Their grape is the grape of bile, their cluster bitterness to them. The rage of serpents is their wine, and the incurable rage of asps. Behold, are not these things brought together by me, and a set seal among my treasures? In the day of punishment I shall recompense, in the time whenever their foot should trip. For the day of their destruction is near, and at hand prepared for you. For the Lord judges his people, and over his men servants he shall be comforted. For he beheld their being disabled, and failing, and the hostile invasions were weakened. The Lord said, where are their gods upon whom they yielded upon them, of whom the fat of their sacrifices you ate, and drank the wine of their libations? Let them rise up and help you, and be your shelterer. Behold, behold, that I am, and there is no God besides me. I shall kill, and I shall make to live. I shall strike, and I will heal. There is not one who shall rescue from out of my hands. For I shall lift into the heaven by hand, and I shall serve by an oath by my right hand. I will say, I live into the eon. For I will sharpen my sword as lightning, and my hand will hold to equity. I will recompense punishment against the enemies, and against the one detesting me I will recompense. I shall intoxicate my arrows of blood, and my sword shall devour meats from the blood of the slain, and from the captivity of the heads of the rulers of the enemies. Be glad, O heaven, together with him, and do obeisance to him, all angels of God. Be glad, O nations, with his people, and grow in strength in all him, all sons of God. For the blood of his sons he shall avenge, and he shall avenge and recompense punishment to the enemies, and to the ones detesting him he will recompense. The Lord shall clear out the land for his people. And Moses wrote this ode in that day, and he taught it to the sons of Israel. And Moses approached and spoke all the words of this law into the ears of the people, he and Joshua the son of Nun. And Moses completed speaking these words to all Israel. And he said to them, you take heed in your heart over all these words which I testify to you today, which you shall charge to your sons to guard and to do all the words of his law. For this is not an empty word for you, for this is your life. And because of this word you shall prolong your days upon the land into which you pass over the Jordan there to inherit it. And the Lord spoke to Moses in that day, saying, ascend into the mountain Abarim, this mountain Nebo, which is in the land of Moab, against the face of Jericho. Behold, the land of Canaan, which I give to the sons of Israel for a possession. Come to an end in the mountain into which you ascend there, and be added to your people, in which manner Aaron your brother died in Hor the mountain, and was added to his people, because you resisted persuasion of my word among the sons of Israel, at the water of dispute, Kadesh, in the wilderness of Sin, because you did not sanctify me among the sons of Israel. For you shall see the land before you, and you shall not enter there into the land which I give to the sons of Israel. This is the blessing which Moses, the man of God, blessed the sons of Israel before his decease. He said, the Lord is come from out of Sinai, and he appeared upon Seir to us. He hastened from out of Mount Paran with myriads of Kadesh. At his right were angels with him. He spared his people, and all the ones being sanctified by your hands. These are under you, and he received of his words the law which Moses gave charge to us, and the inheritance of the congregation of Jacob. He will be a ruler with the one being loved, being brought together with rulers of peoples among tribes of Israel. Let Reuben live and not die. Let Simeon be many in number. This is for Judah. Listen, O Lord, of the voice of Judah, and unto his people. May they enter in. His hands shall litigate for him, and you will be a helper from his enemies. To Levi, he said, give to Levi his manifestations, and his truth to the sacred man, whom they tested him in trial. They reviled him at the water of dispute. The one saying to his father and to his mother, I have not seen you. And his brethren he did not recognize. And his sons he did not know. He guarded your oracles, and he observed your covenant. They shall manifest your ordinances to Jacob, and your law to Israel. They shall place incense in the time of your anger, always upon your altar. Bless, O Lord, his strength, and the work of his hands receive. Break the loin of his enemies, having risen up against him, and the ones detesting him, let them not rise up. Bless, O Lord, his strength, and the works of his hands receive. Break the loin of his enemies, having risen up against him, and the ones detesting him, let them not rise up. To Benjamin he said, one being loved by the Lord. He shall encamp being yielded, and God's shadow over him all the days. He rested between his shoulders. To Joseph he said, his hand is of the blessing of the Lord, of seasons of heaven and of dew, and of the deeps of springs below, and according to the seasons of the offsprings, of the circuits of the sun, and of the of returns of the months, from the top of ancient mountains, and from the top of everlasting hills, and according to the fullness of the land, and season, and the accepted things being seen in the bush, may they come upon the head of Joseph, and upon the top being glorified among brethren. As the firstborn bull is his beauty, horns of a unicorn are his horns. With them shall gore nations together, even from the tip of the earth. These are the myriads of Ephraim, and these are the thousands of Manasseh. To Zebulun he said, be glad, O Zebulun, in your departure, and Issachar in your tents. They shall utterly destroy nations, and you shall call upon there, and you shall sacrifice the sacrifice of righteousness. For the riches of the sea shall nurse you, and marketplaces dwelling on the coast. To Gad he said, one being blessed, widening Gad, as a lion he rested, and having broken the arm and the ruler. He beheld his first fruit, for there the land was portioned by rulers being brought together, heads of peoples. The Lord did righteousness, and his equity was with Israel. To Dan he said, Dan, a lion cub, and he shall rush out from the Bashan. To Naphtali he said, Naphtali, a fullness of acceptable things. Let him be filled with blessings from the Lord. You shall inherit the west and the south. To Asher he said, Asher is one being blessed of children. He will be acceptable to his brethren. He shall dip his foot in olive oil. Iron and brass will be his sandal, and as your days, so your strength. There is not any as of the God of the one being loved. The one mounting upon the heaven is your helper, even the majestic one of the firmament. And the sovereignty of God shall shelter you, and that under the strength of everlasting arms. He shall cast out from your face the enemy, saying, may you perish. And Israel shall encamp alone, complying fountain of Jacob, with grain and wine, and the heaven covered with clouds and dew on him. For blessed are you, O Israel, who is likened to you, a people being delivered by the Lord. Your helper is the shield and the sword of your boasting, and your enemies shall lie to you, and you shall mount upon their necks. Jesus ascended from the wilderness of Moab unto Mount Nebo, upon the top of Pisgah, which is upon the face of Jericho. And the Lord showed to him all the land of Gilead unto Dan, and all the land of Naphtali, and all the land of Ephraim and Manasseh, all the land of Judah unto the latter sea, and the wilderness, and the places round about Jericho, city of palms unto Zoar. And the Lord said to Moses, this is the land which I swore by an oath to Abraham, and Isaac, and Jacob, saying, to your seed I shall give it. And I showed it to your eyes, but there you shall not enter. Moses came to an end there, the servant of the Lord, in the land of Moab, by the word of the Lord. And they entombed him in the land of Moab, near the house of Peor, and not has any one known his burial place unto this day. Moses was 120 years old at his coming to an end. His eyes were not darkened, nor were his lips corrupted. And the sons of Israel wept over Moses in the wilderness of Moab, at the Jordan by Jericho, for 30 days. They completed the days of the mourning of weeping for Moses. And Joshua son of Nun was filled of spirit of understanding, for Moses placed his hands upon him, and the sons of Israel hearkened to him. They did in so far as the Lord gave charge to Moses, and rose up not any longer a prophet in Israel as Moses, whom the Lord knew him face to face. And all the signs and miracles which the Lord sent him to do them in the land of Egypt, to Pharaoh, and to his attendants, and to all his land, and the great wonders, all by the fortified hand which Moses executed before all Israel.
You shall proclaim wisdoms, that intellect should obey you. For she is upon the high extremities, and she stands in the midst of the paths. For by the gates of mighty ones she is occupied, and in the entrances sings, saying, you, O men, I comfort, and I let go with my voice to the sons of men. Comprehend, O guileless ones, astuteness, and O uninstructed ones, insert it into heart. Listen to me, for I shall speak serious things. I will offer straight things from my lips, for my throat shall meditate truth, and lying lips are abhorrent before me. All the sayings of my mouth are with righteousness. Nothing in them is crooked nor insidious. All is face to face to the ones perceiving, and straight to the ones finding knowledge. Receive instruction, and not silver, and knowledge above tried gold. For wisdom is better than very costly stones, and very esteemed thing is not worth her. I, wisdom, encamped with counsel and knowledge, and I called upon reflection. The fear of the Lord detests injustice, insolence also, and pride, and the ways of evil ones. I have detested the perverting ways of evil men. Counsel and safety are mine, intelligence is mine, and strength is mine. By me kings reign, and the mighty ones write righteousness. Through me great men become magnified, and sovereigns through me take hold of the earth. I love the ones being fond of me, and the ones seeking me shall find favor. Wealth and glory exist by me, and much property and righteousness. Best to gather my fruit than gold and precious stone, and my produce is better than choice silver. I walk in the ways of righteousness, and I return in the midst of paths of reason, that I shall portion substances to the ones loving me, and their treasuries I shall fill up of good things. If I should announce to you the things happening each day, I will remember also to count the things of the eon. The Lord created me, the head of the ways for his works. Before the eon he founded me in the beginning, before the making the earth, and before the making the abysses, before the coming forth of the springs of waters, before the seeding of the mountains, and before all the hills he engenders me. The Lord made regions and uninhabited places, and uttermost parts of the inhabitable world under the heavens. When he prepares the heavens, I was present with him. When he separated his throne upon the winds, when he made the upward clouds strong, and as he made the springs under heaven safe, and the putting of his restrictions to the sea, and the waters shall not go by his mouth, as he made the mountains, the foundations of the earth strong. I was by him. I was being in accord in which he rejoiced with, and each day I was glad in front of him at all times, even when he was pleased with the completing the inhabitable world. I was pleased among the sons of men. Now then, O son, hear me, and blessed are the ones guarding my ways. Hear wisdom, and you should be wise, and you should not seal it up. Blessed is the man who shall listen to me, and the man who shall guard my ways, being awake at my doors each day, and heed at the doorposts of my entrances. For my issues are the issues of life, and in them volition is prepared from the Lord. But the ones sinning against me are impious unto their own souls, and the ones detesting me love death. Romans 6:6-9. Knowing this, that our old man is crucified with him, that the body of sin might be destroyed, that henceforth we should not serve sin. For he that is dead is freed from sin. Now if we be dead with Christ, we believe that we shall also live with him, knowing that Christ being raised from the dead dieth no more. Death has no more dominion over him. In 1872, Horace Greeley, founder and publisher of the New York Times, ran for president against Ulysses S. Grant. The campaign was difficult from the beginning, and just 5 days before Election Day, Greeley's wife died. Grief-stricken and physically weakened, Greeley himself died a few weeks later, before the Electoral College could meet. Of the 3 electors still cast their votes for him, Congress rejected those votes because Greeley was dead and therefore could not serve. Someone who is dead is no longer expected to respond like someone who is alive. If a warrant or summons is issued, it will be revoked once it becomes known that the named person is deceased. Similarly, when sinful nature with which we were born has lost its rightful dominion over us, that does not mean sinful desires are gone, no matter how much we wish they were. It does mean that sin no longer has the authority to rule us as it once did. In Christ, we are no longer helpless slaves to sin. Romans 6 instructs us to reckon ourselves dead indeed unto sin, and alive unto God, depending on His grace to resist temptation and walk in the freedom and victory Christ has provided. Being dead to sin means we are free from its power to rule over us and can, through Christ, walk in daily victory.